dive into authentic conversations about ourselves and our community, exploring topics that uplift and inspire us, from personal growth to social change. So grab your teacup and get ready to join the conversation. Live up on Tanisha Talks Teas on a Tuesday evening. Hi. I hope you guys enjoy the new digital set. I am also checking to make sure my mic is on with these headphones. So let me find my live. And we're up and running again. So I apologize, even though, however, it was not wholeheartedly my fault why the two Diddy lives that I did going over the TMZ documentary that they did on the downfall of Diddy. I will redo those. Okay, give me a minute. I'm just got a lot going on. Anyway, it was StreamYard. I upgraded to StreamYard. And when I upgraded to StreamYard, for some stinking reason, what is this? Let's get this out of here. What these numbers are. Let me see if they show up on my life really fast. Thank you for working with me. Like I said, I got a new digital set. I hope y'all enjoy it. Okay. No, they're not there. Okay. So those are just numbers that I can only see. Upgraded StreamYard, I was like, okay, we're going live. We're going live with a new digital set over on StreamYard. Unfortunately, when I upgraded on StreamYard, I was unable to hear any, or you guys were unable to hear anything I was saying. Okay. It was only things that were voices that were, coming from the media sharing. So that prevented you guys from hearing. However, I thank all of my Tea Talkers for continuing to support. Numbers have been looking absolutely amazing. We're growing. We're almost at 12,500 followers. So we are definitely going to, at 13,000. When we reach 13,000, we are going to have a live star giveaway again, as we did when we hit 10,000. We gave away stars live. It was a great live. Lots of likes and views. So nothing so far has topped my Mike Tyson fight. Like, nothing has topped my Mike Tyson fight yet, right? So we're looking forward to hitting those record numbers again. So every time there's like an event that you guys want me to cover with you or anything like that, let me know. Type it on my page, hit me up, say, Tanisha Talks Teas, why don't you cover this event? It's going to be live. I don't care if it's a Zeus Network event, Now That's TV event, a boxing event. The Super Bowl is definitely getting live streamed over here on Tanisha Talks Teas. Okay, we're definitely going to be streaming live for the Super Bowl, right? So, if it's an event that you guys know is going to be live and popping and hot, and you guys want to, live stream it and talk tea about it, laugh, sip, eat, have a good time with Tanisha Talks Teas, then let me know and we will check it out and we'll get that up and popping. So we got merch. We got Tanisha Talks Teas merchandise. Okay. So we got t-shirts, y'all. We got necklaces. You can get them personalized for your own talks. For them to say like Jennifer Talks Teas, Marco Talks Teas, have your own personalized Tanisha Talks Tea. Our teas, 18 karat gold, nice little chain. Okay. You can also represent your Tanisha Talks Teas shirts. We have these for merch. We have t-shirts.
Okay. We also have sweatshirts and other t-shirts. Okay. So inbox me. They're $20. Sweatshirts are $35. So if you want a t-shirt that says Tanisha Talks the Teas with the cup and my pretty beautiful face, okay, to just represent your favorite tea talker over here on Facebook, then go on ahead and put in your order. Inbox me, let me know. Um, you can put in multiple orders. You can put in as many, from many orders you like. They are up for sale right now. In my inbox, just inbox Tanisha Talks Teas on Facebook right now for all of your ordering inquiries. So, what is poppin', Facebook? I have missed y'all. Like, I've been sick. I've been sick. Like, oh my God, going in and out of, just feeling the ups and downs of the flus, aches and body aches, like throat, sore throat, coughing, runny nose, blurry eyes, scratchy, itchy eyeballs. Like, so, you know, um, there's something else that I wanted to put up here. How about, ooh, let me see. Um, we're adding some stuff. Let me see if it popped up on my live. I'm still figuring out. I'm now streaming with something else. So um it didn't pop up. See, there's a couple things that I'm tweaking. So I'm working on a little box that has a tip goal. So every show I'll put like $10, $20, $50, $200, $500, depending on the event. Okay. So that'll be the tip goal, right? That we want to reach for the event, the live, the tea talk that we're doing that night or day or evening or whatever we're going to be doing, right? Covering that day. So if you feel, that you want to bless us with the tip, then you hit, tip goal, and then you put your tip in. Okay. So, oh, I don't see something here that I really need to have. It should be up there, but I'm not going to worry about it on our first digital set. However, my chat box should be up here. Got it. Okay, now I can see my chat. Okay, I look wonderful. So, anywho, let's get into some tea. Diddy did not get bail, right? So that's what tea is for Diddy. Let's go ahead and look into some Diddy did not get bail stuff. I hope everybody's having a great Tuesday evening. I am here in beautiful Golden, Colorado. I'm sipping on some tea and Hennessy. my man. My mama raised me better than how everybody's Thanksgiving. Mine was good. I had just a simple but plenishing, fulfilling dinner. Turkey, ham, greens, potato salad, deviled egg potato salad, greens, collard greens, string beans with potatoes, honey, Hawaiian sweet rolls, banana cream pie, apple caramel pie. I showed you guys pictures, so feel free to go back and enjoy some delectable, beautiful pictures of what we did for Thanksgiving. It was a really nice Thanksgiving. So let's see what they're talking about. Diddy denied bail. Live now from Fox. Diddy spends Thanksgiving in jail and in New York City after being denied bail, right? Okay. So we got 9 major P. Diddy updates from exclusive bail hearing. Okay.
Presented by Law and Crime. This could prove to be a very interesting week. Sean Diddy Combs legal side.
Bear with us as we have a few technical issues, but everything seems to be up and running.
You know, I would have said that seemed highly unlikely, but after what we saw on Friday during the most recent bail hearing in front of Judge Arun Subramanian, the current judge of Combs' criminal case, a judge, by the way, who hasn't heard this bail issue.
I don't know what these numbers are that's covering up my face.
It seems a lot more probable. I'm going to explain. So, Combs has been sitting in the Metropolitan Detention Center, the MDC out in Brooklyn since his arrest in September. And of course,
we're getting a lot of glitches here.
As you know, he's facing racketeering, sex trafficking, transportation to engage in prostitution charges, namely that from 2008 to 2024, he used force, threats, coercion to cause women to engage in sexual activity, including sex acts with male
we're getting a lot
sex workers. That's what's known as the freak-offs, that he operated a criminal enterprise that was engaged in all sorts of illicit activity. And acts of violence like kidnapping and arson. Okay, we knew that. And now 2 previous judges, a district court judge and a magistrate judge, both previously denied Sean Combs bail, siding with the prosecution's arguments that Combs was a danger to society, given these allegations, that he was a risk of flight, given his wealth. power and resources, that he engaged in potential obstruction by improperly contacting witnesses and victims in the case. And this, by the way, is despite the defense putting forth a very expansive bail package. $50 million bond, home confinement, no phone or internet use, 24/7 private security to monitor him, limits.
I realize the numbers are up there, guys. I kind of got
bail package, one that I really haven't seen. But leading,
I'm gonna leave it here. Okay.
Leading into this hearing on Friday, again in front of Judge Arun Subramanian, who hasn't decided this issue yet because he was the most recent judge assigned to the case, prosecutors were also armed with more arguments, more evidence. Why? Because as we previously discussed on Sidebar, they alleged in a letter to the court that while behind bars at the MDC, Sean Combs has been violating the Bureau of Prisons rules. Now, by the way, that in and of itself can be used to show, hey, if he can't follow the rules while he's locked up inside, what makes you think he can be trusted on the outside? But putting that to the side, not only that, prosecutors say he has been engaging in unauthorized communications, such as three-way phone calls on a monitored phone, using other inmates' phone access codes to make phone calls, and using a third-party text messaging provider. And they alleged he was doing all of this to instruct third parties to reach out to witnesses and even try to influence a potential jury pool. And by the way, influencing a potential jury pool, that's with respect to the allegation that he orchestrated a social media campaign around his birthday. You might remember this. His family released a video of them wishing him a happy birthday, good wishes, while he's on the phone. He's on the other line. He's locked up, but you hear him on the other line. They're all happy. Everybody's happy. And prosecutors say the aim for that was to influence potential jurors. They have evidence to say that was his intent, that he might have said something. We'll get to that. Now, there are many, many other items for both the prosecution and defense regarding this bail issue, but the best way to go through all of this is to actually go through what was said during that hearing. Now, something I have to mention about going over this hearing, there are no cameras in the courtroom, so we couldn't see this for ourselves. In fact, there's electronic devices that are allowed as well. So we're basing this off of reporting from those in the courtroom about what happened. Now, the first issue that came up at this hearing on Friday wasn't even about bail, but it's about what happened a few days earlier. You see, the defense had accused the prosecution of improperly taking photographs of potentially attorney-client and work product privilege material in Sean Combs' detention unit. This was after there was a
How can a microblader make more than a doctor and only work part-time hours? Think about this for a second. A doctor goes to school.
Okay, so as we are listening to the update on DIDDY'S bail, I hope you guys are enjoying your Tuesday. I am here from Golden and the new digital set.
MDC. I should say the defense claims this was actually a targeted operation at Sean Combs. The prosecutors have denied this. They've said that they didn't even take part in the search. But there was this suite, and an investigator from the Bureau of Prisons apparently took photos of these notepads and these notepad pages from Sean Combs' unit. In the end, Judge Subramanian, after there was a hearing held, said the prosecution has to destroy 19 copies of pages of those photos, that they couldn't use evidence obtained from those photos in their bail argument. And one of the things that they wanted to say was that Combs was improperly reaching out to one witness in particular. That would be shown by one of these photograph pages. And Judge Subramanian said that he would have to resolve at a later date if there was, in fact, a privilege violation. And if there was a violation, I'm not even sure what that remedy would be. Sean Combs' defense counsel has asked for the indictment to be tossed out, has asked for the prosecution's team from the Southern District of New York to be recused. We shall see. Now, as we're sorting through these legal arguments, it just shows you how important having a great lawyer is, right? So how can I say that without talking about our incredible sponsor, Morgan & Morgan? This is America's largest injury law firm, our proud sponsor. And here's the deal. If you're injured, you got to know what your legal rights are and if you could be compensated. Morgan & Morgan, they have a dedicated team of over 1,000 attorneys. They have an impressive track record, like recent verdicts, $12 million in Florida, $26 million in Philadelphia. These are higher than the highest insurance offers in these cases. No upfront fee. The whole process can be done straight from your smartphone. Seeing if you have a case can be done in 8 clicks or less. So if you're injured, you can easily start a claim at forthepeople.com/LC sidebar. back to the hearing on Friday. Judge Subramanian, he had an issue with the defense. This is how it started off. You see, the defense had argued that Sean Combs' legal pads clearly had the word legal handwritten on the top of the binders, to indicate that this is privileged. Don't search through this. These are materials that prosecutors cannot have access to. Well, Judge Subramanian said, the legal pad that defense counsel gave to this court, an intact legal pad with legal written on the binding, when you look at the photos of two of the intact legal pads that were taken at the time of the sweep at the MDC, there's no writing on the pad. There's no legal. So why is that? He wants to know why, meaning, was legal only written on that pad after the fact? That wouldn't look so good for Sean Combs or his lawyers. And during the hearing, one of Combs' lawyers, Mark Agnifilo, said he wasn't sure when legal was written on the pads, and he did concede that during the sweep, not all the pads said legal. Judge Subramanian reportedly asked if the pad you handed up to me, did it say legal on it on November 1st, meaning when the sweep happened? To which Agnifilo reportedly replied, I'm not sure. And that led the judge to warn the defense that moving forward, make sure all of your representations to the court are true. Not a great way to start, but that's how it started. And from there, we get into the bail analysis. And the main concern from prosecutors when talking about bail is they don't trust Sean Combs to follow the conditions of pretrial release.
Exactly.
And they highlight, as I mentioned before, the allegations of what he was doing in the MDC. Now, Judge Subramanian pressed Assistant United States Attorney Christy Slavic, well, what do you say that you might not trust him, but trust his 24/7 private security that would monitor him on home confinement?
Yeah.
Her response, this security team, she claims one of them is a co-conspirator of Sean Combs, that this person's phone was taken away.
Exactly.
The other is a defense investigator in this case, and she alleged that that investigator has been contacting witnesses. In other words, this 24/7 private security team works for Sean Combs. Now, Agnifilo responded to that later in the hearing, suggesting that they are proposing an independent security team. And he also highlighted that Sean Combs would be living in significantly more restrictive conditions on home confinement than in the MDC. Judge Subramanian asked Prosecutor Slavic, you cite his wealth as an issue for pretrial release, so can he use it? That's a key point. That was made by both sides. You see, the prosecutor said it's because he has the wealth, the power, the resources to do what he wants on the outside and flout the rules that he shouldn't be granted bail. Whereas the defense has said, okay, we have to create such an expensive and expansive bail package to mitigate those perceived dangers because of his wealth. Slavic reportedly responded that they are seeking continued detention not because of his wealth, but because of his dangerousness, his risk of flight, his obstruction. Subramanian asked her to explain the obstruction argument further. And while she highlighted what I had mentioned before, he did ask her whether running a PR campaign from
Uber made a big mistake.
Okay, while they
allegedly
pay
not
bills over
doing
there,
thorough enough background checks on its.
they are covering over on Sidebar, which I really like. What all came up into Diddy basically being denied bail. Diddy's security team would more than likely be people that he would have hired and know and have working for him that are on his payroll. Okay, such things like that. So let's keep listening.
Potential payouts to victims.
from behind bars is obstruction, like the birthday message campaign. Now, according to Prosecutor Slavic, Combs allegedly said he wanted to reach the jurors and said something along the lines of, presumably on a recorded phone call while in the MDC, something along the lines of, I need only one. So that kind of looks like he is trying to impact the jury. And she claims that this is impacting the integrity of the proceedings, and this is his intent to obstruct. Now, from there, Judge Subramanian gets into a really key point. This is something that he actually had advised the prosecutors to be prepared to discuss. The fact that former Abercrombie & Fitch CEO Mike Jeffries was just arrested on federal sex trafficking charges in New York, albeit the Eastern District, not the Southern District where Combs is. But on the face of it, very similar allegations to Sean Combs. And guess what? Mike Jeffries was released on a $10 million bail. So Judge Subramanian is essentially asking, why shouldn't Combs be released then? To which Prosecutor Slavic references the letter that the prosecution had filed with the court in anticipation of this hearing. And in that letter, they say, well, okay, yes, Jeffries is accused of paying dozens of men for travel to engage.
Thanks for watching. Remember to show your support by liking, subscribing, and sharing. It's a blessing. Keep your teacups filled and ready for my next upload. Until then, stay inspired and remember, always stay dipping.